Hello, this is the story of you. Your eyes open to darkness. You blink a few times, confirming to yourself that you are in fact awake. The lingering effects of sleep have muddled your thoughts. You don't realize your own reality quite yet. At this moment, you're panicked, confused as to where you are. You were just living some other life. The vague ideas and memories your mind made during the night tear apart at you. Who are you? Where are you? What are you doing here? Why do you feel so confused? These thoughts only linger for mere moments, till you rub your eyes and reopen them. Now, fully aware of the reality you reside in, the vague yet blissful dream slips out of your grasp, and you forget about the moments you experienced. For you, this is a normal occurrence. You often dream, interesting dreams at that. Some of them are so meaningful they seem on the edge of changing how you perceive life. However, you never decided to go the next step and start a dream journal, though it often crossed your mind. It seems that you often find yourself being too lazy or procrastinating to ever achieve something such as a dream journal. You know it's your own fault and that you should hold yourself to higher standards, but instead you divert the blame. You say it's unfortunate that your personality made you so lazy. You say it as if the world gave you a bad hand at life, though you know you've had a modest, yet decent life. You live by the idea of ignorance equaling bliss. You know that isn't a real solution, but it's already too late for you. You're ignorant to that idea as well. You stretch, putting your dreams behind you. You're more worried about the time. Your sleep schedule has taken a turn for the worst. You find yourself staying up nearly all night, sometimes until the sun rises. At first, you felt fine doing it. You started this trend originally because you were enjoying your time looking at various things online. However, recently you've noticed a new trend. Long ago, you stopped doing what you originally changed your sleep cycle for. Now, you stay up out of habit. You notice that your nights feel empty. Feel that even when you try to achieve something, it feels empty. Being awake when everyone else is asleep makes you feel disassociated. You are alive. However, you're still alone. You have started to question the meaning of being awake at night. This isn't your first experience with this feeling. You know what the solution is. You must sleep properly and organize your life. Yet, for you, ignorance is bliss. Your idea to remain ignorant leaves you blind to the fact that you are ignoring you yourself in a cycle of suffering. Understanding the solution, knowing the answer, isn't enough for you. You can't break away from trying to remain ignorant. You are escaping. You are afraid. You are uneasy. You hope one day things will feel better. You want a hero. You want someone to pick you up and put you in a paradise. Ignorant, yet still understanding that it won't happen. You sit up. You notice the sun coming through the open window. Yes, your window is still open. You never remembered to close it the prior night, though the sounds of day never awoke you, nor did the light blaring into your room. You can easily tell it is past noon. It is far too bright to be early in the morning. Another day mostly wasted, huh? You get up hurriedly. You know best that there's no reason to be in a hurry. You have no plans. You no longer keep up with the friends you made in school. Those days are far behind you. Nor do you have a job. You lost that thing a while back. You never really understood why you lost that job. Likely because you feigned ignorance over your own problems. But you don't regret being unemployed. At times, you panic or worried about money, but other than those moments, you are rather relieved to not be employed. Though deep down you know that job was the last thing giving you the right to call yourself responsible. You're not much better than a bum, and you know you're likely on the track to become one. You're now brushing your teeth and staring at yourself in the mirror. These thoughts keep running through your mind. However, you try your best to stop thinking. If someone ever compared you to your younger self, they'd have to call it true irony. You used to preach about how you loved to think. You said you would be happy if all you could do was think. You admired those who were intellectual, but now you don't like to think at all. Perhaps thinking is painful to you. You're not quite sure. Though for you, thinking only brings weird emotions to the surface. You no longer have meaningful thoughts as you once did. Now your thoughts are riddled by adult problems, modern problems, and mostly your own problems. It is easier to be ignorant after all, so you stopped enjoying the ability to think long ago. Instead, you look at yourself and smile. Your teeth aren't perfect. They are a bit stained and one tooth is shorter than the other. But it is a nostalgic smile. You aren't sure if anyone else would feel the same nostalgia. But for you, it reminds you of the past. You clear those pesky thoughts out of your mind with the praise of your appearance. You aren't that attractive, but you sincerely love yourself. You no longer love everything you once did about yourself. Turns out you just love the idea you have of yourself. But that is enough for you. In the mirror, you noticed a fallen eyelash on your cheek. You quickly remember all the times your mother told you to blow away your eyelashes with a wish. Your parents divorced when you were young. You were too young to really understand or remember everything that happened. For you, that was countless years ago. However, some things you won't forget. Eyelashes are one of the things that have always brought up the same set of memories of your mother, even into your adulthood. Here you stand, now a few seconds after noticing the eyelash. It is now on the tip of your finger. You just stare at it. You stare beyond it. You stare into the memories it's brought back, and then you stop thinking altogether. It is something you no longer enjoy, and you're now brought back to your senses. You know that you need to make a wish. You would feel guilty if you didn't make a wish after every eyelash you wished on so far. It'd be wrong. Perhaps a bad omen for you. You feel unsure. To you, this is somewhat important. However, you don't know what to wish for. You used to have big aspirations, goals that you wished to achieve. You no longer have any of those. Now, all you ever want is peace of mind, though it is hard to come by. It seems you often find yourself realizing the negatives of your life. To you, wishes are something you don't have time for. You could wish for your problems to go away, but that doesn't feel fulfilling enough. You feel as if it needs to be somewhat extravagant, like how kids will wish for superpowers. You too believe it shouldn't be wasted on something as simple as ridding yourself of problems. You've always been somewhat superstitious. The countless unrealized wishes you have made before have yet to deter your superstition. You aren't sure how long you stood in the bathroom looking into this dying eyelash. You do know your head is starting to bother you. After all, you're thinking too much, and thinking is bad for you. You eventually decide to make a wish. You pick a vague topic, something of adventure. You hope maybe this one time your wish will come true, and your life will change. You wish for adventure, though you know if the opportunity arrived, you may still just stay inside anyway. Though it is past normal breakfast times, you still consider making yourself typical morning food. You often eat eggs and toast. You don't know how to cook anything more fancy. You never took the time to learn, but you do like the idea of being able to cook. You find cooking attractive and interesting, but you don't feel like you have the time or money to do so. You quickly abandon the idea of food. It seems your appetite is gone. Perhaps it was due to your morning so far. You notice that thinking about yourself often ruins your appetite. You often find yourself in the same position you are now, desperately wanting to do something, but not wanting to do anything. You don't think you have time for anything too consuming, nor would you want to waste your time doing something that won't make your results. You remain ignorant to the fact that you're actually wasting every moment of your life by trying not to waste time at all. So, as you do most days, you boot up your computer, you open up your browsers and go into looking at social media. You aren't popular, nor an influencer by any means. You're more the type who looks at other people's posts online. You don't have the motivation to create anything, nor do you think it'd be worth anything at all. You scroll through the pages. Your mind numbs more and more as you enter a trance. You don't realize, but there's this feeling of guilt building every time you scroll through a post. What are you doing? You aren't achieving anything. This is a waste of your time. You understand that spending your time online isn't smart. You can't enjoy games anymore either. You're stuck in a loop of wanting to spend your time wisely, only to never change. Your ignorance no longer brings you bliss. It traps you inside. It blocks you from your potential. People have asked if you were alright before. After all, you do have some friends online. Well, you consider them your friends, but you aren't sure actually how close you really are. They often talk about their own problems with anxiety and depression. And so you recognize that many of your problems correlate with the symptoms of depression, but you can't fathom yourself being depressed. You are happy. You love life. You love yourself. You can't be depressed. You're just going through a bad phase, you say. You blind yourself to reality by following your own ideas of how to live. You follow your ideas so much that you can't be open to change. You used to always do your best to stay open-minded. At some point, you started going in a circle. You could never realize your situation. Much like last night, you're living in a dream of delusions. You are delusional, and you can't tell. In the moments that you do notice a problem, you decide to be ignorant. Your life's a circle. A circle of hell. Your life has followed this pattern for many years. You miss the old days when you were young and everything was more enjoyable. Simplicity is better for you. Yet, you never try to change. Are you scared? Are you lazy? Why won't you change? You remember telling people that if you died, you'd be happy with your life. When did that change? You no longer feel satisfied. You feel empty. You feel pressured. Even though you have nothing taking your time, you do nothing but roll around in your own misery and lie to yourself that you are doing something. When will you wake up? Wake up. You! Wake up. You need to stop this stagnation. Wake up! You realize the day is gone. You woke up late, so there wasn't much sunshine left anyway. However, you still wasted every second of natural light on social media. What did you achieve? Do you feel fulfilled? Good luck. You look out your window. It is still open. You still never closed it. You thought fresh air was supposed to help you think better. It seems to you that the world failed you once again. You still got lost in time, only to return with nothing. You look out the window. The street lamps illuminate the road. You see something. A shadowy mist resembling a person, almost as if the person was scratched out. It flickers through the light on the road. It is going slow enough to assume it is walking, if it can walk. You know it isn't real. It must be something your mind is showing you. A trick. An illusion. Yet you yearn. You yearn to find out what it is. After all, you are superstitious. You think that there might be a possibility that it isn't an illusion. Maybe this is the eyelash, making your wish come true. This may be your adventure. The scratched out image continues to travel down the road. You slide on some slippers and make your way for the door. You don't want to lose sight of this thing. You don't want to approach it, but you wish to see what it does, or to see what it means. This will be the first time you properly left your house in months. You stop at the door and look at the handle. In a way, it is daunting. You never recognize that you were afraid of something out there. You think about when you started avoiding the outside world. Your hand trembles for a moment. You still yearn for something. The feeling you got when you looked out your window compels you to continue. You push down the handle, and the door opens. For many, this would be a normal occurrence. For you, this is progress. You're similar to a fish who has lived his entire life in a bowl, finally being able to see the ocean. You hesitate. It is one thing to see the world from a window for several months. It is another to see it all around you. The scratched flickering draws your attention away from the world. You are focused. You have a reason to be out here. No one else is around. It is night. It's just you and what you seek for. You begin to follow the scratched image as it travels down the road. You can never make out what it is. All you know is that it resembles the shape of a person. You notice that you never get closer to it either. It always remains ahead of you. Not that you are trying to get close enough to pass it by. It probably is just an illusion. You must be going crazy. Maybe you are crazy. You follow for several minutes. You go through several roads. You vaguely remember where you are from all the times you traveled these streets in the past. You notice that the scratched out figure has disappeared. Naturally, you stop and look around. In front of you is a small park. You remember that you often came here a few years back, every single night. You spent your time reflecting on yourself during those nights. Though you were alone, you enjoyed being here. This place hasn't changed much. Though something does feel wrong. You wonder if maybe you should turn around after losing sight of what you were chasing. But whispers on the wind draw your attention. Your eyes set on a pair of swings within the park. Everything is dark besides these two swings. There seems to be a light fixated above the recette. In the swing, you see something sitting. It looked the same as what you saw before. A scratched out figure. You infer that it is probably the same person. Their head is down, and they are weakly pushing their swing back and forth. In some regards, you think this scene would make for a great painting and expression sadness. You don't know why, but the feeling of sadness is very apparent in the figure's motions. You feel compelled to approach. You stagger. You don't know who this is or what it is. Is it even a person? You figure it must be some kind of crazy to see a person is scratched out. Though, aside from your own issues, it would be rude to ignore them if it was an actual person. You figure at worst, it is just an illusion. So you decide to make yourself known. The figure doesn't react to your words, and it continues to weakly sway back and forth. You get closer. Nothing seems to get its attention. Eventually, you're standing directly in front of it. Its head is down. It likely can't see you. Maybe it's even deaf. You decide to squat down in front of it. You're not more than a couple feet in front of it. As you scoot closer, it does nothing. You stop. It continues. You sigh. It must be ignoring you. Suddenly, it grabs your face, one hand on either side. You startle and attempt to back away, but you can't move. Its grasp is halting. It isn't strong, but you can't move. Murmuring whispers surround you. The wind picks up. The creature slowly raises its head. It has no features. Everything is scratched out by the veil of darkness. Your mind races. Who is this? Am I going to die? Why did I leave my house? In your rush of thoughts, it seems some words slipped out of your mouth. The creature's head turns. The whispers become more coherent. They are copying what you said. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? The scratched out face starts to fade. You tremble. You know this face very well. This is the face of the person you love the most. You've known them all of your life, and you most definitely trust them most of all. This is your face. The scratched out figure starts to appear reflecting your own form. This thing was you, a reflection of you, a hideous truth. You have been your own fear, your own torturer, your own confusion. You have all been bad and good things yourself. The whispers change. Why not wake up? You need to wake up. You are asleep while awake. Wake up! What will you do?